10% of the enterprises are social enterprises, which represents more or less almost 3 million organizations and entities. And I don't know if you, I mean, of course, it's hard to picture that, but it's really, really a lot. This means that these organizations and entities give work and employ every year 13 million people, which is an incredible amount. It means 6% at European level, and in some European countries, it can go up until 10% of the workforce. This is a great number, and most importantly, it's also an increasing number. So it's a number that it's increasing over the years because social economy has been developing a lot, especially in the recent years, also thanks to the attention that the European Union is giving to this kind of economy. The interesting thing, which is at the same time challenging and but also positive, is that a common definition of social economy and social enterprise is not possible. It's not possible because social economy has been developing within different countries, and the same definition cannot be applied to all the countries because every country has its own legal framework. So as long as every country has its national legal framework, we will not be able to have a common legal framework. Nevertheless, what we can do, and what it has been done at European level, is to give some characteristic that an enterprise should possess in order to be defined at European level as a social enterprise. This was defined in 2011 by a very important document released by the European Commission called the Social Business Initiative. You can look it up on the internet. It's available for everyone to see. And this document stated that you need to have at EU level 3 characteristics, which is to seek for a social impact rather to making profit, to provide goods and services in an innovative way, and to use the profits and the services itself to achieve a social objective. And the last but not least, that I was discussing in my group before, is that a social enterprise compared to a regular enterprise needs to be managed in a democratic way, which means that the workers and the employees need to be involved in the decision-making of the enterprise. And this is very important. It's very important because it gives a different motivation and also different participations to the employees that work in this kind of enterprises. I was mentioning to the group before that, for instance, the network in which I work is a cooperative. I'm a member of the cooperative. And this means that I'm able, alongside with my colleagues, to decide which are the strategies and which are the decisions that needs to be taken in the normal life of the enterprise. So it's not because I'm not president, I'm not CEO, or I'm not director of my cooperative that I don't have a say in how the cooperative run. And this is very, very important, and it's a different mindset compared to regular enterprises. As Claudia was mentioning before, the traditional forms at European level of social enterprises are cooperative, mutuals, associations, and foundations. And in recent years, where in some countries already several years ago, was born the legal form of social enterprise, which means that in some countries you can legally be a social enterprise, while in other countries, if you're a cooperative, a mutual, an association, or a foundation, you will have the label of social enterprise. This is very different compared to country to country. The European Commission has developed reports, both at European level and at national level, that study the social economy framework in each of the European countries. So if you're interested in that, I really suggest you to go and look for this. I put here some maps that you can look at it maybe later at home, and the sources, so that if you're interested in what exists in your own country, you can be able to do so. And to finish, I would like to explore with you a bit the evolution of the social economy in Europe in the last years. And in particular, to have a few words about what happened in the last months. So more and more, the social economy topic has been let's say popular in Europe. I don't like the word popular, because it's not because something is popular that it's important and vice versa. Let's say that with the last commission, so with the Commission von der Leyen, but also with the previous one, the Juncker ones, the social economy has captured the attention, let's say, of the policymakers because of its capacity to make at the same time both an economic and a social impacts, which has been very positive for our field, because it has given us the opportunity not only to be let's say on the public debate and to have more attention, but this attention also means a recognition, both from a legal but also from an economic point of view, which means more funding and more opportunity for the whole sectors to grow. So as I was mentioning before, this, let's say, European journey of social economy started its journey in 2011 with the Social Business Initiative, which was the first concrete document that not only gave or tried to give a definition of social economy, but also set some basic principles regarding access to finance, visibility, and the regulatory environment. From there has been two important initiatives in 2016 that I will not go into details, but that defined how social economy can access to finance and access to markets, and set some milestones for the future, which leads us actually to the Social Economy Action Plan that was released last December. So the Social Economy Action Plan released by the European Commission a couple of weeks ago was a really landmark for the whole sector, because it has been a communication from the Commission to the other institutions, and this demonstrates the real willingness of the European Commission to invest in the sector, develop the sector, and to make it more accessible, to everyone. So it has been really a great achievement for all the social enterprises and all the organizations working in the field. And the main aims of the Social Economy Action Plan that was released in December was to create a better business environment, so to make a bit of order and of clarity in the policy and legal frameworks that already exist at European level, to create more opportunities for the sectors and to invest in capacity building. So, which means to provide new fundings for the social economy, but which means not only concrete fundings, but also invest in the people that are behind the social enterprises. And the last, but for sure not least, to give more awareness and recognition to the whole sector, meaning that more and more everybody will be aware of what social economy is and why it's so important for the European economy. Because I'm sure that if you just walk in the street of your country and stop someone and ask him or her, do you know what social economy is? I'm not sure that everybody will be able to reply. And it's a pity, because especially in some countries, the impact that the sector has, it's really huge. And this is part of the awareness and recognition work that has to be done and that will be done in the following years. So That's it, more or less, for the European level presentation. I don't know if it was too short, too long. If you have any questions, of course, you can ask me. What I really want you to think about today, tomorrow, in the following days, is that the beauty and the challenge of the sector is that it's very flexible in its topic, very flexible in its legal forms. But this is really an opportunity, because you can be a social entrepreneur in whatever you want. I mean, in whatever topic you want. The important thing is making an impact, both from an economic and a social point. So that's it. I'm available if you have any questions.
The social sphere of entrepreneurship. Is it possible to connect it appropriately with culture, like as in making a company that will fulfill the starting plan or something like this, in matching the culture prospect? Because we have so many, let's say, gaps. One is the reinvestments of 90%, in some countries it's 70%. And we have also this thing about employees, 40%, they need to come from a disadvantaged group of persons. And also we need to work with social problems, not only in raising awareness or the capacities of people to have a lifestyle or something like this, and the culture. But
yes, so thank you for the question, Roxana. Yes, of course. Actually, one of the projects that I manage is exactly on this topic. So cultural and creative social enterprises. I can send you an email to Marian with some materials that can be shared with you. Of course, the link is possible. Many social enterprises in the field of cultures exist that aim at both promoting culture or to have a social impact, while at the same time exploiting the power of art and culture. I know we're late. I will just share a company a social enterprise that I visited in a study visit in Milan in September. That is a theatrical company that works with the elderly people, for instance, and that puts in place theatrical places involving elderly people. And like this, you have both a social impact and a cultural impact. So actually, culture is really, really present in the social economy field. It's not traditionally, I think, the most present field, but it's developing more and more.
If I can add something.
Yeah.
Let's remember that at the beginning of the year, the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, has launched the new European Bauhaus. That actually is the program that wants to support the Green New Deal and the next generation Europe through the culture. So underline the importance that culture has for pursue the sustainable development goals. So culture is really related with social economy, such as sport and other activities that can ensure participation, welfare in some way. So
thank you.
And Roxana, remember that only in Romania, not only in Romania, only in countries that are social economy are financed mainly by European Social Fund, social economy is related to vulnerable groups. Social economy in other countries are not mainly related to vulnerable groups, only work integration social enterprise. So social economy is not only about vulnerable groups. It's let's say we narrow a lot the definition of social enterprise in Romania.
Also because culture implies in general engagement and interaction with people in general, which is also I mean, at the base of social entrepreneurship. So like by definition, the two can work together.
All right, because I saw this sector of people that like teenagers that are very blessed and skilled in their artistic capacities or work capacities, but they have no echo, they cannot even find places in ONGs because there are known ONGs on the musical, for example, sector. There are very little, and so yes, indeed, there is a lot of, from my point of view, a lot of a need for help of this a group of people that if they gain the help, they can really facilitate the society with a great closure and great development. But from what I've seen, they were not so much taken into account. But this, let's call the other vulnerabilities, because I don't say vulnerable groups are not good, but there are more vulnerable groups that we know actually, and that can make impact by a little bit of help. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxana. You are also going to have a small homework, and that will have to do with entrepreneurship in cultural field.